You see? I'm a public official. So everything I do is for the public's perusement. So my job is to do the best that I did. They pay you to not talk about things they don't want you to talk about. They tell
Pat Williams sat down for an interview just 2 weeks ago, and let me tell you, what came out of his mouth, it might have just signed his own exit ticket. No exaggeration here. His eyes, darting, his voice, shaky, and for once, in his long, chaotic career full of lawsuits, arrests, and beefs with A-listers, Katt didn't sound like a comedian at all. He sounded like a man who knew the walls were closing in around him. He straight up warned us, the industry isn't just dangerous. Oh no, it's hunting certain people, actively, taking them out. And when he said taking them out, he didn't mean career-wise or metaphorically, he meant literally. And the first name he dropped? Malcolm Jamal Warner.
There's a God side and the other side. If there are moral things and things that are immoral, if there is this side or that side, it can't be left up to thought process. I'm an enforcer on it.
Now let's be real for a second. Everyone's heard the headlines about Warner's passing. A tragic drowning off the coast of Costa Rica during what was supposed to be a quiet family vacation. The media called it accidental. The autopsy said asphyxiation by submersion. But Katt? He's not buying it, and he made it chillingly clear. He believes Malcolm was silenced. And guess what? He's not alone. People inside Hollywood are whispering the same thing, that Malcolm, who'd been carving out his own independent voice through his podcast and private projects, got caught in something way bigger than a riptide. Did you see Katt's face during that interview? That was rage mixed with dread. This wasn't him spitting hot takes. This was a warning from a man who's already survived run-ins with Hollywood's underbelly. And when he talked about Warner's death, he called it a message, a straight-up sign to other entertainers thinking about going off script. Oh, and it gets worse. Katt swears he's now getting threats, anonymous ones, some digital, some in person. He says he's being followed. And while we've heard paranoid celeb stories before, this time, it feels different. Why? Because Katt's got receipts, and because this time, someone's already turned up dead.
Morning swim, he had gone out to the coastline just before sunrise, and a little after sunrise, got into the water. Not too many details about what exactly happened once he was in the water, but authorities did end up finding his body actually hundreds of yards away down the shoreline. His body was discovered in a rocky cove. It was brushed up.
The Malcolm Jamal Warner case, messy doesn't even begin to cover it. Costa Rican officials say Warner was pulled from the water by bystanders after getting caught in a strong current. They did CPR for over 20 minutes. Still, he was pronounced gone at the scene. Here's where things turn strange. Another man, a 29-year-old from Nicaragua, had jumped in to help. At first, reports said he was in critical condition. But just days later, he's discharged, fully recovered, not a scratch, no statement, not even his name released. That's when whispers about a silent witness conspiracy started blowing up online. Some online sleuths, and even one ex-studio bodyguard, claim the Nicaraguan man may have seen something in the water, or maybe just after. Either way, the rumor is he was told to shut up, rushed out of the hospital, maybe even relocated. And the fact that no outlet has tried to interview him? That's weird. This wasn't just some random beachgoer. He was part of the same incident that took the life of one of the most beloved actors in Black TV history. And yet, total silence. Why?
So unbelievable there. And Branson, I also was reading that just days ago, he had another podcast episode that was dropped, and now a lot of fans are starting to really listen to that as maybe one of his last times that you...
So, was Warner's death just bad timing? Or was he getting too close to truths the industry didn't want out? In the weeks before his trip, Warner had been more outspoken on his podcast, in interviews, even in private circles. He was talking about legacy, about being more than Theo Huxtable. He was questioning why the media kept boxing the Black experience into one flat image. He wasn't naming names yet, but he was stepping out of line. And Katt? He's convinced that's exactly what got Warner targeted. Now remember, Katt's the guy who says no to more money than most of us could dream of. He turned down 4 separate $50 million offers. Why? To protect my integrity, he told Club Shay in January. And then he dropped this little gem. P. Diddy be wanting to party, he said, and you've got to tell him no. He laughed when he said it, but we all know what that subtext meant. Those parties, the ones now tied to court cases and sealed indictments. Katt says he was invited and turned them down way before the scandals hit.
Because P. Diddy be wanting to party. And you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no. I did.
And those raids? They found tens of thousands of bottles of baby oil, illegal substances, piles of digital devices, and equipment that even seasoned law enforcement side-eyed. Katt didn't just say Diddy was shady, he mocked the whole defense. He probably got it from Costco, Katt joked on stage. Costco clapped back. We don't even sell baby oil. That's not just a joke, that's a dare to powerful people. And apparently, they might have accepted the challenge. Since that infamous interview, Katt's reportedly gone underground. No tour dates, no public appearances. His team? Silent. Insiders say he's got new private security. He's switching up travel routes, and he's never sleeping in the same house for more than 2 nights. One source called it a race against time. Not paranoia, not a vacation. Straight up preparation. Because to Katt, speaking out wasn't therapy, it was an act of war.
I'm one of the chosen high-ranked, know the dirt individuals, right? And so dirt responds as they should when the vacuum walks in.
Nah, you come on. Are you a rapper? You rap on the side?
Katt says there's a list, and not some symbolic list either. He swears it's a real, physical roster of people, entertainers, activists, executives, who either refuse to play the game or learn too much. And depending on who you ask, Warner might have been right on the edge of figuring something out. His new podcast, Not All Hood, was all about showing the different sides of Black culture, rejecting the shallow caricatures mainstream media shoves at us. His words, not mine. The first few episodes, they barely scratched the surface, but some fans swear there were clues, unfiltered language, symbolic references. One episode even had this cryptic quote about legacy and knowing when to walk away. Was that just deep reflection, or was Warner gearing up to drop truths no one wanted aired? Here's the thing, Warner wasn't known for drama. He kept his private life locked down. Wife, daughter, barely in public. Aside from the occasional interview or nostalgic Cosby Show moment, he kept his head down, which is why his sudden death, the drowning, the mystery witness, the online whispers, hit like a brick. This wasn't a man living on the edge. He wasn't a Hollywood rebel. Yet somehow, he ended up at the center of one of the most bizarre hush-hush stories of the year.
I hate to bring up the sad news, but news did break today of the untimely passing of Malcolm Jamal.
Like 40-something years. But I'm in a place now where acting, and I guess I go through phases, but I'm in a place now where acting, the craft, excites me as much as it did when I was.
We've seen this play out before. Someone starts speaking up, drifting away from Hollywood's inner circle, then boom, they go quiet, or worse. Think about others who tried to shine a light on the industry's dark corners but didn't live long enough to tell the full story. Prince, Whitney, Michael, Bobby. Now, add Warner's name. Is it proof? Number. But it's a pattern, and patterns, they don't lie, even when the official autopsy does. Now it's Katt holding the mic, and while some might laugh it off as Katt being Katt, there's a creepy consistency here. Now, who he calls out, what happens after, and the fact that every time he peels back a layer, someone powerful starts to squirm. These threats he's getting now, they feel different. This isn't about cash. This is about shutting him up, about control. And if even half of what he's saying is true, he may already have crossed the line of no return. Some folks think this is all just noise, that Warner's death was a tragic accident, that Katt's stirring the pot for clout. But ask yourself this, if it's all nonsense, why is everyone suddenly clamming up? Why is the man from the beach still nameless? Why did Warner, clean reputation, no scandals, well-respected, become the center of a mystery wrapped in silence? And why is Katt Williams, of all people, now moving like a man with a countdown clock hanging over his head? Then there's the so-called Cosby curse. People whisper about it quietly, but it's always there. Whether you believe in coincidence or something darker, the list of cast misfortunes keeps growing. Lisa Bonet's career crushed by blacklisting, Tempest Bledsoe stepping away from the spotlight, Bill Cosby's public implosion, and now Warner. The one cast member who stayed clean, who avoided controversy, gone under the waves in Costa Rica, never to resurface. Warner loved his legacy, publicly anyway. He stood by the cultural impact of The Cosby Show even when others distanced themselves. But behind the scenes, he wanted to reshape that narrative. He talked about moving past Theo, about telling stories that were raw, personal, and real. And just as he began to push that message, with a new podcast highlighting the complexity of Black identity, suddenly he's the face of a beach accident. No scandal, no buildup, just silence. To those paying attention, it didn't look random. It looked deliberate, symbolic. A message: don't stray from the script. If this Cosby curse is real, it's not about random bad luck. It's about a calculated pattern. Disappearances, disgrace, and damage control, neatly wrapped up in official statements and polished tributes. Fans mourned Warner with love. Others whispered he might have paid the ultimate price for being the last man standing in a dynasty built on smiles for the camera and secrets behind it. And then there's Katt. Loud, wild, unpredictable. The total opposite of Warner's quiet grace. Maybe that's why he's still here. For now. Warner spoke in careful hints. Katt, he's been tossing bombs at the system for years, calling out Diddy, Jay-Z, Kevin Hart, anyone tied to the machine. And every time he gets hit back. Lawsuits, show cancellations, meltdown headlines. It's the oldest trick in the book. Discredit them, turn them into a punchline, so no one believes what they say. Insiders claim it's a pattern. Refuse the NDA, skip the party invite, turn down the contract. First, they kill your rep, then your money, then isolate you. If that doesn't work, silence. Katt survived all 3 stages. Now he says he's seeing shadows in his rearview and getting warned to stop. If he's right, this isn't paranoia. It's a pattern. Look at the timeline. In January, Katt says no to tens of millions to protect his peace. Months later, one of Hollywood's cleanest names, Warner, is dead under strange circumstances. Then Katt vanishes from the spotlight, new security in place, while talk of a hit list explodes online. Supposedly, it's filled with people too unpredictable or too informed to trust. Is Katt next? We already know he's hinted at shady ties between Diddy's alleged freak-off parties and blackmail. He warned 2024 would be the year the deviants catch hell. By March, Diddy's homes were raided. By July, Warner was gone. If that's coincidence, it's a big one. If not, we're watching a purge of truth-tellers in real time. Katt's the last one still talking, which makes him dangerous and an easy target. In this business, your voice only matters if they control the volume. Warner tried to rewrite his story. Now he's gone. Katt started naming names, and the heat's closing in, so here we are. One man gone, another hanging by a thread, and an industry pretending it's all bad luck. But what if it's not? What if this is the cost of truth? Is Katt Williams next, or the only one left with the guts to stand? Stay curious, stay safe, and keep your eyes open.